Well, welcome to this episode of Lincolnshire New Folk Movement, where I'm very pleased to say I'm joined by the wonderful Helen Flunder, who, as you can probably gather, plays the piano, amongst other things. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Tidy.
Thank you very much for joining me, Helen. Just to start off, just tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into music, how you've got to where you are today with all the amazing recordings you do and all the other work.
Well, I had when I was about 4, I went to a school fair at my dad's school where he worked, and they had a piano smashing competition. So they got these 3 pianos. Like I was only obviously I had little, and I was just so mortified that they were going to smash this piano. My dad managed to make it so that they didn't smash 3 pianos; they smashed 2, and I got one. We got one. We got one at our house. So. That was our first piano, and then this old sort of thing. Then I got that when I was about 7, and my parents sort of forked out for lessons for all of us kids, and I just absolutely love music. I'd never really wanted to practice the right things when I was having lessons, but I always wanted to play all the telly programs and that sort of thing, and then so I sort of kind of did classical exams. Then I did quite a lot of music at school, and I used to be a primary school teacher, and then got into doing accordion and then I got playing in bands and bit of folk, bit of covers, then songwriting. Well, I just love it really. Also, it's good to have all sorts of just try all sorts of music. I'm not really an expert at any, but I just like playing music. I'm really missing my work because I take my accordion out playing most days into nursing homes and things. So I miss playing, and like everybody else, missing gigging with everybody else. I think it's. I'd have told you I'd waffle.
So I've got a couple of questions.
I'll shut up now.
I've got a couple of questions.
One question.
So you've had that piano you're sat at since you were 7. That's gone.
I think so. About that long. Something like that. I think it was. Something like that. Because the other one, I think it sort of really probably wanted smashing up. The other one really. I don't know what happened to it. I hope it didn't get smashed up. But
I've never heard of a piano smashing competition. That does.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. I just think it's awful. It's really cruel.
Yeah, it's a little bit like a book burning competition. You can.
Yeah. I think we had to see who could smash it into the smallest pile the quickest. I think.
Oh, that's quite. Does it have a name? Your piano?
No, it doesn't actually. Maybe it should do. It's just sort of. It's not quite so well as it used to be. I've had sort of 3 house moves, I think, with it, and it's just getting a little bit tired really. But it's to buy a new piano, and I'd ideally like to have a great big grand piano studio in the garden, but it just does the job really, and I've got keyboards and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk a little bit more about the recordings in a bit, but in fact, let's talk about them now, because you've got quite a variety of different sort of sounds and instrumentation that comes into your songs. And I was also listening through them, and the subject matter that you deal with is often really personal. There's a real compassion and connection to humanity there.
Oh, thank you. I was a bit soppy, really, but
well, there's also a song about national infrastructure utilities, which surprised me. So the Pylons song.
Oh, Pylons!
Yeah.
There's a reason for that one. Yeah. If anybody knows my partner Brendan Perkins, they'll know he's crazy about electrical stuff and pylons and trains and train signals. So he kind of has educated me to look at a pylon, instead of it being a big lump of sort of ugly stuff, to actually think, well, look, they're carrying electricity for so much that's fantastic, really, and they're so they are quite amazing, really. I mean, if you look at the Eiffel Tower and think that's wonderful, well, pylons, they are quite cool, really. So I have sort of grown to love pylons with my arm twisted behind my back slightly. But no, we do go out pylon spotting now without anoraks. We don't wear anoraks.
Oh, that's really good. There was a competition about 10 years ago to see if somebody could redesign pylons to make them new and more fantastic. And I think the outcome of that was everybody said, actually, they're pretty good as they are. So yeah, we'll just keep them. But with pylons and the other songs, what is it that makes you think that that's going to be a song? You know, what sort of things come up that you think I have to write a song about this? I mean, some of the ones like about your dad and things like that. It's how do you pick those things that you're going to talk about?
I mean, about sort of in 2010, I co-started a little songwriting group up in Grimsby, and that was going up till the lockdown. And every month we used to meet there and just basically natter all night, and then we usually sort of came up with we'd come up with 3 or 4 subjects, and then you could go off and if you fancied trying something a bit different, you'd write a song about one of these subjects, and that some of the songs have come from that, really. But a lot of the time, like my dad, it's a certain, like just a small. I often find it's like a phrase sort of comes into my head of something about something I feel strongly about, and that kind of develops a song from it, because I don't really write the music first or the words first. I tend to go with the first little bit, and then it kind of, I use both at once, which sounds a bit odd, but I'll if it sounds like it wants the feeling of the song wants to go sort of lift up, I'll do that with the music. I don't know. I think most people tend to write one or the other, and I seem to. Mine's just sort of like a stumbling over both bits together as I do it. So I don't know. Is that what do you go for the music or the lyrics first, or?
I think I actually write more like you, if I'm honest. Yeah, I tend to tinker around with chords and things like that, and just sort of and you just tinker around, don't you, all the time as a musician? But it's when a phrase comes into my head, and then I tend to develop it from that. They're the ones that tend to work best. Sometimes I have an idea, but yeah, your songs certainly don't sound sort of stumbled. When you listen to them, they don't say, "Oh, that was cobbled together." They don't sound like that at all. No. They're very, very well thought about and really well constructed as well. And I was thinking, and the other thing that I think is really well constructed and really matches is the videos, because your videos are really well considered and really appropriate to the songs. So there's some great visual, if I could say it, elements to it. How do you go about with the videos?
Oh, is that just the photos and with the lyrics and stuff? Yeah. Well, we just we walk about, we go out walking and taking photos of them, just with our phones, really. I just like taking loads of photos, and I don't know, I think you can sort of, it's funny because you think, oh, you need a certain picture for that, because I know the pylon thing, I was really, really gutted because I could not find a picture of a pylon on a mountain because all the photos are ones we've taken. Apart from that pylon one, there was some with Phil, who does loads of photos online. And I'm really sorry, Phil, I can't pronounce your second name because it's so complicated. So I apologise. But he does some great photos. So that one has got some photos by Phil in. But I like to think that the most of the time, if you've got the lyrics, somehow the photos kind of tend to fit, really. But you would think you had to select them carefully, but apart from the pylon one, I don't think I do, really. If it feels like it wants to be an uplifting bit, I'll probably put a sunset or something. But I'm not really. I'm very much a beginner of doing videos. That's all Brendan teaching me that as well. So it's just I am definitely stumbling around with those. I do like to have the lyrics, though. I quite like having the lyrics on things sometimes. So, but
Yeah, I enjoyed having. I mean, the Wild Woman video.
yeah.
That was great.
Was that one? Is that the one with all the different women in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that one was. I mean, I used to be in a band called the Wild Walls Women, and that was just written a bit tongue in cheek, really, because we were the really mild women, really. We weren't very wild. So, but then I just found this group online that was Wild Women, and it's not dodgy or anything. Well, they might be a bit dodgy, but they're just awesome women who do all these fantastic outdoor things mainly. And then I thought, oh, well, it'd be good to have all these ladies hand gliding and doing outdoorsy things, and also have some women I knew that I think are really, really sort of strong role models and doing sort of fantastic things. So there's a few musicians I know, and there's a lady who's got a fantastic business in Caister, Brick Tree Gallery, which is really supportive of artists in the area. So if you're ever passing through Caister, have a pop in there once it's all open again.
Yeah.
So I just thought for that video, it was just trying to involve. Oh, I don't know. I felt so alone, like isolated and lonely. But not Brendan. Brendan's here, obviously, but not seeing people and not chattering. As you can tell, I do chatter a bit, but not no interaction. So doing those videos felt quite good. We did a Key House one for the VE. Was it the VE Day? And also one St George's Dragon one. We got a load of children drawing dragons. They were fantastic. So that was quite fun as well. It's just whatever you can think of to keep occupied during this, really.
Well, they're really good. I think they really work, and they really kind of set off and give that extra bit to the song. Really, it's something I feel like I need to get better videos. I just tend to put up a picture and that'll do. But no, so I need to get.
Yeah, well, I think half of mine are like that, but I'm just starting to try and do. My daughter, she's an artist, and I'm sort of if I can get her to have enough time, I want her to do some like sketches, because that would be fantastic. To have, like, she's like an illustrator, so to have that through some videos would be brilliant. I think that would be quite good. I quite envy people who are artistic in that way, because it's not something I can do at all. I'm not very good at that.
No, I'm terrible at that sort of thing too. So yeah, again, you look and think, oh, I wish that was something I could do. Now, you mentioned about Key House there, which is with your partner Brendan, isn't it? Now, obviously, there's loads of music out there from you guys as well, because there's quite a lot of both your stuff up on Spotify and YouTube and all that, and also the Key House. But is it just the Key House?
Yeah, the Key House. I think we've called it the Key House Music, and we've just had a CD done.
Woo!
We just had a CD. So that, but we've only had like a sort of a CD itself made, because on Spotify and everything, you can't sell anything, can you? It's all, you don't get any money for it. So we thought, well, if we sold 3 to my mum and maybe Brendan's mum, and we might just get a little bit back. But sorry, mum, but it's no. Well, that's got. We've only done, so it's like a full album. We've done that. We've only done one album so far, because we've been together a couple of years, so it's sort of evolving. But it's just fantastic playing and writing with somebody else. It's wonderful.
Well, I will be putting. I'll put the email address so people can contact you and all that kind of thing underneath the video, so we can hopefully. So if everybody goes and buys one of those now, that'll be good. So how do you decide then, Helen, when you've got a song idea and something you want to do? How do you decide whether it's going to be a Helen Flunder project or the Key House sort of project?
I don't really, because we basically we sort of did all those, and we did like the Key House ones all in one album really, and now started because I'd almost got a solo album myself, so I'm now thinking, right, that's what I'm doing on it. But really, a lot of them they could sort of, swap backwards and forwards really. But I think with the Key House, when it's the Key House one, Brendan can just go for it. He sort of holds back a bit on mine because he lets me. He'll put whatever I mean. If I ask him to put things in, he'll do loads. But I think he's sort of, because he does his own solo things as well. So I think he's just very diplomatic about what he does. I think I probably write. I do really do a lot about feelings and stuff, and then I often write my songs and think, oh no, it's another, well, I hate to say girly one, but I do feel sometimes I write a bit, but I suppose you're going to write as who you are, aren't you? But I don't know. So I mean, the Key House ones, I think they could have been my songs or Brendan's songs, but the treatment of them perhaps is a bit bigger. I don't know.
Okay, so it's like, that a bit more, like you say, more of a collaboration on the Key House things. Whereas if it's yours, it's more, you can just sort of like a bit more control and direction just from yourself.
I honestly, I really don't know, really. but I think on the Key House ones, it felt like for the first time I sort of dared, because I've written most of them. I wrote most of the songs. With Brendan's obviously put loads into it. He did the music on the songwriter one, and then I think I did the lyrics, and then we've added a bit. Both done it a bit. But I think because Brendan's got a lot of he likes a lot of the proggy music, and I've never really. It's not something I'd ever had a lot of experience of listening to an awful lot. So I think some of the lyrics, it was like me thinking, I can write all sorts of weird things. What would have felt a bit sort of over the top to me before, but now I feel I'm not so limited now. I dare do. I don't know. I dare do whatever I want really now. If you're not commercial and nobody's telling you what, you're not in a record label you might as well just write what you want, really.
I think it's what connects to people, isn't it? Yeah. I think people are looking for that. I think from a lot of sort of people gigging and doing stuff around the areas, they are looking for that kind of authenticity. Because sometimes if you do something that's not sincere, I think people can tell. I think sincerity really carries through on things.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like to write like that. I think it must be really hard. I mean, I suppose you could sort of write like I could manage funny stuff. I could manage to do like funny stuff if it was to order for somebody, but to write something that really felt, like you say, genuine, I think it must be really hard, because I think you must sort of lose the sparkle or the sort of energy of it if you're trying to write. You've got to write a pop song, or we've got to write, right, we need a love song, and we need a splitting up song, or a road trip song. I don't know how you do it, really. I think it must be.
I think it's a different skill set, I think, isn't it? Certainly.
Yeah.
Than the way I think we go about, like you say, that very organic kind of, this seems to be going somewhere, and letting it snowball. Yeah. Well, I think they were my main questions to ask you, but I do have some quick fire questions to ask. So these are more kind of, there's no wrong answer to these. So we'll wait and see. Maybe there is. So the first question I've got for you is, if you imagine yourself in a hotel and it's breakfast time and you've gone to the buffet breakfast, what kind of eggs do you choose? Do you choose fried eggs or poached eggs, boiled eggs? What kind of eggs would you have?
Ooh. If I was on a diet, I'd probably have boring poached ones, and if I wasn't, I'd probably have a couple of fried eggs on top of some fried bread. So, totally decisive. Sorry.
That's all right. Here's another one. Would you rather be able to dig through the ground like a mole, or be able to chew through trees and things like that, like a beaver?
Sorry, I'm sniggering. Didn't mean to snigger. Probably chew through a tree, I think. I don't think I fancy it. I thought you were going to say fly or something. That would have been much more interesting. Sorry, I can't get inspired about chewing a tree.
Would you? What about digging as a mole though? Would you like to do that?
Yeah, it's the worm. The worms and that creepy crawl. I'm not very big on. I wouldn't like getting mucky hands. Don't like getting mucky hands.
Yeah, the trees for you then. Yeah, that's a good choice. That yeah. And last question is, what is your favourite kind of hat? You know, like a top hat or a Christmas hat or a tricorn?
My favourite hat. Oh, favourite hat. I wouldn't mind one of those sort of cool, sort of Australian ones. Yeah, you know, the little bit cowboy hat type thing, maybe, but without the corks.
Optional corks.
The Crocodile Dundee, those ones without the corks. Yeah.
Yeah, they are good hats. They are good hats. I like a broad brimmed hat. Yeah. So they were all my questions that I had for you, and we're going to sort out putting a video on at the end of this. So would you like to tell us, Helen, what the song is that I'm going to play at the end of this?
Well, because I've got a video made for it, one called Crystals, it came from one of the subjects we had at the songwriting thing, which was reflections, but it was the idea of crystals was the idea of looking at a reflection and imagining, like when you get the car windscreens and they're completely shattered, but they're sort of still hanging there. And imagine, I just was in a very tough place at one time, and I felt like I was being held together with all little bits, and if somebody went like that, the whole lot would just go. Psh. So it was called Crystals, about kind of all the different facets of your personality trying to hang together and hoping you didn't just go pull. That's the one, Crystals.
That's a really powerful image. That okay, I look forward to playing.
It's a happy one. It's a I will survive one. So yeah.
Okay. So. Well, thank you ever so much for talking to me, Helen. It's been a real pleasure, and thank you very much for telling me about piano smashing competitions, which I didn't know were a thing. But yeah, you take care of yourself, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Not that one. No, we've got to think of a name for that one next.
Yeah, I know. I think of a name. Yeah.
All right, you take care then. Okay, thank you.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Used to see a reflection, hope it's never me. Used to see a reflection, hope it's never free. Once a single reflection, now a shimmering wall. So many crystals to fall. Used to see all the reasons why I couldn't be. Used to see all the reasons, too many to be free. Once a single reflection, now a shimmering wall. So many crystals to fall. has its reason. Every reason wears a face. Once a single reflection, now a shimmering wall. So many crystals to fall. I can, I will, I am. Slowly, day by day. I can, I will, I am. Find a way. I can, I will, I am. Slowly, day by day. I can, I will, I am. Find a way. Used to see a reflection, oh, but never me. Used to see a reflection, oh, but never free. Once a single reflection, now a shimmering wall. So many crystals to fall.